Today we're going to do a read aloud so that we can practice some strategies that you can use during your independent reading time. I'm going to use a book that we've already read before that you're familiar with, just so that I can demonstrate some of the things that you should be doing when you're reading by yourself. The book I'm going to be using today is The Gingerbread Man, retold by Catherine McCafferty. And what we're going to do is talk about some strategies that you should use during 3 different points of your reading: before your reading, during your reading, and after your reading. We know that good readers are active readers, and active readers ask themselves questions during all 3 of those parts of reading: before, during, and after. So what you want to start with when you first start reading is the cover of the book. So we see here that the cover of this book tells us different things. So we'll practice our predicting skills before we start reading. The cover of this book tells us the title and the author and the illustrator. The title is The Gingerbread Man, and the author is Catherine McCafferty. And the illustrator is Doug Bowles. So what we'll want to do, in addition to the text that we see on the cover, is look at the picture. And we'll want to see if we can predict anything about the book by using our predicting strategies before we start reading. So since the title says The Gingerbread Man, I'm going to predict that the book is about a gingerbread man. And by using the illustration on the front cover, I'm going to predict that the gingerbread man is going somewhere. And I say that because it looks like he's running, and it looks like he's waving too. So that's what I'm going to do before I start reading. I'm going to ask myself some questions. Why does it look like the gingerbread man is waving? I wonder who he's waving to. It looks like he's outside. What could he be doing outside? Is he running away? These are things that I'm asking myself because these are things that I want to find out about in the story. So as I'm reading, I'm going to think about these questions and try to find the answers to them as I go through the story. Now we're going to start reading the story, so these strategies will be our during reading strategies. So as you go through the story, you ask yourself questions. Where is the gingerbread man going? Why is the cat following the gingerbread man? Well, we found out from the text that the cat said, or the cat thought, he will make a tasty meal. And then here we see the cat with his tongue hanging out looking at the gingerbread man. So I'm going to predict that the cat is going to try to eat the gingerbread man. So the next page we see, "Oh, gingerbread man," purred the cat, "do stop for a visit." So I think I was right. This cat is trying to trick the gingerbread man to stop and come for a visit. But what he means by a visit is he's going to try to eat the gingerbread man. But the gingerbread man just ran and sang, "You can run and run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." So I'm thinking, I heard that before. There's a pattern. So far, the gingerbread man has told the old woman and the old man and the cat, you can run as fast as you can, but you can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. So I'm going to make a prediction that the gingerbread man is going to see other people in this story, and he's going to tell them all the same thing. So let's see. Okay, boys and girls, so we've read this story before, and we know what's going to happen, that the gingerbread man's going to come in contact with some other characters like the snake, and the snake is going to try to eat him, and we know that the goose comes next, and the goose is going to try to eat him. So what you want to do is just keep making predictions page by page by using the text and the pictures. And you'll want to know what happens next, so you'll keep on reading, but always keep those questions in mind. So you continue on during your reading until you get to the end. So we'll read the last page here. When the gingerbread man meets the fox. Fox stopped in the middle of the river. The water is getting deeper, he said. Jump onto my nose, gingerbread man. So what do we think is going to happen? The fox, my prediction, is going to eat the gingerbread man because he tricked him. This is the last page. And so the gingerbread man jumped toward the fox's nose, but in the snap of a jaw, he was in the fox's mouth. Fox smacked his lips and sang, he ran and ran into my clever plan. What a sweet lunch, that gingerbread man. So during the story, we read about the different characters, and we saw some illustrations, and we made predictions about the story. And a lot of times we were right about those predictions. Well, what you want to do when you finish reading is use your background knowledge, things that you already know, along with what you just read in the story, to tell you what the author's meaning of the story is, or the author's lesson of the story. So I'm going to say, from my background knowledge, I know that gingerbread is a tasty treat. It's really yummy, it kind of tastes like a cookie, so I think that gingerbread is something that anybody would want to eat. And I think that's why the fox and the goose and the snake and all the characters tried to eat the gingerbread man, because he was probably very tasty. I'm also going to think about something else that I know. I know that foxes in fairy tales and stories are depicted as sly, cunning, sneaky animals. So I think that the author used the fox as a symbol in the story. So it wasn't the goose that ate the gingerbread man, and it wasn't the cat that ate the gingerbread man. It was the fox, because foxes are known to be sneaky and sly animals. So any other questions that you can think of about the story, you'll want to ask yourself. Perhaps something about the story reminded you of a real life situation, something that happened to you. So maybe this story reminded you of a time when you got tricked. Somebody tricked you, just like the fox tricked the gingerbread man. Maybe the story reminds you of something that we've read before, like the Three Little Pigs. In that story, the three little pigs were almost tricked by an animal as well. So now that we've gone through this example using the story The Gingerbread Man, I want to remind you that you should always ask yourselves questions when you're reading. Now that you're going into independent reading without a buddy or without me or without a parent or a loved one, you have to ask yourself questions. So questions should come before reading, like we asked ourselves with the cover. Why is the gingerbread man running away? Why is he outside? During reading, ask yourself questions. Ask yourself questions like, why does the cat want to talk to the gingerbread man? Or you can ask yourself why everyone's following the gingerbread man. You ask yourself what's going to happen next. You make predictions. And then after the story, you ask yourself some more questions to check to make sure that you've understood the story. You might ask yourself, what was the story about? You might give a summary of the story. Or you could also say, what is the author trying to tell us with this story? So you'll want to be an active reader, a good reader. And you can use this video to guide you, and you can rewind it and watch it as many times as you want. So be an active reader, ask yourselves questions before during, and after reading. Okay, everybody, I'll see you in class.